Hello, hello, and welcome to Relationship Deep Dive, where we dissect some of your popular online relationship coaches as well as some of the pros. I am one of your hosts and the executive producer, LaCora Stevens. And of course, joining us is the wonderful, the beautiful, holistic counselor, Shatan M. Squires and Audra Bryant. Audra Bryant, of course, is your personal empowerment coach. And Shatan, I don't know where she went, honey, but she's going to be on very soon. So, joining our show today, of course, we have our hosts, myself, Audra, and Shatan. And of course, you guys know technical difficulties. We have a wonderful professional in the house. He goes by the name of Dr. Rael Sims. He is going to break down the science of love as well as help us dissect the topic for today, which is by licensed professional Spirit. I don't know if y'all know who Spirit is. Audrey, you know who Spirit is?
Yes, I've seen her. First of all, I just want to say that when I saw the clip that you're about to show, I was just like, my insides was just like, yes, come through, spirits, right? Come through.
She's so good.
Yes.
And so we actually, Shatan is also good. She is our, how you doing?
Hey, Shatan.
Hello.
We ain't gonna let you get away, girl. We ain't gonna let you get away.
Yes, technical difficulties, but I am here and I'm excited.
Yes, so happy you are here. So today's topic is chemistry. Is relationship chemistry a scam? Now, we've seen it throughout movies. You had me at hello. We hear people talk about these feelings and sparks inside of us. And I'm trying to figure out, have we been bamboozled? Have we been run amok? Did Plymouth Rock land on us, or did we land on Plymouth Rock? Is this something that we have been sold chemistry, or is it something that we really don't need? And I thought that it would be fitting to have Spirit. She is wonderful. I respect what she does. And the topic of today is relationship chemistry a scam? All right. So this has been a great debate. You guys take a look at what she has to say. I thought that it was pretty, I don't know, something different that I had never heard of in my life. All right, y'all ladies, y'all ready?
We're ready.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look.
That there's a huge difference between chemistry and compatibility. And so you have to be careful, because if you're choosing based upon how somebody makes you feel, all that is new relationship energy. Anytime we get into a new relationship and we actually feel attracted, chemically attracted to the person, I want you to understand that your brain will play tricks on you in the beginning and have you thinking that you feel something that is absolutely not what it is that you're feeling. Right. Love is a chemical process. It releases dopamine and all kind of endorphins and hormones into our brain. It's the thing that makes our heart race when we see somebody, our palms sweat, the butterflies in the stomach. That's very real. It's not just in your mind. It's also happening in your body. But you need to also understand that that process doesn't last throughout an entire relationship. That is for a specific period of time, roughly about 18 months. Because really, the body, it's all comes back to science. The body is really trying to get you to procreate.
Okay, wait a minute. Did she just say that it goes down to science and chemistry?
She did.
Time to get us to procreate?
Yes.
To get it on?
Yes.
Like Marvin Gaye said. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. She explains a little bit more. Let's hear what she has to say.
And so if you're out there dating because it feels good and that's all you're looking for is what feels good, or because their resume looks good on paper, you will be sitting in an office like mine 2 to 3 years from now, miserable. If somebody's resume does not equate to their compatibility with you. Right. So I always tell somebody, when you're single, you should be already in progress, enjoying your life. How you'll know that this may actually be the person for you is because when you first meet them, you'll be wary of allowing them into your space, and you'll go slow and you'll proceed with caution, because initially you're dating their representative and they're dating yours. Right. They are trying to be who they think you want them to be. And you have to wait that period out as they have to wait it out with you to see, are we truly who we want to be? Are we truly who we said we were?
That part. Okay. Audra, Shatan, you guys are skilled. You guys are both certified life coaches. I'm trying to hear what y'all have to say, because little old me, I'm none of that. So talk to me, ladies. Shatan, what say you on this matter?
Oh man. Okay. Wow. So for me, I feel like she has some valid points. We do lead into relationships based on lust initially and what our eyes see. And
Okay.
after some time, that fizzles away. So, what is it that keeps us connected to someone? But I would wager to say it is chemistry that keeps us connected. But at some stage, you're not led by what your flesh desires. You are then led by the attraction, the sex appeal, the conversation, the mental stimulation. All of those things collide with chemistry. If we can't communicate ideally with one another and agree on certain things, not everything, but certain things, then our chemistry is not the same. And a lot of times you won't begin a relationship with someone unless there is that chemistry, that feeling like I could be with him, or I could see myself with this person. And that does have to do with chemistry. I don't know, as much as I love spirit, I don't know where the foundational principle comes from that chemistry is not a valid um, idea to use when we're getting involved. Or, I mean, for me, I feel like every time I entertain someone, I felt a chemistry there. I did not look at them and just say, we're going to work. I had a feeling, I had a thought, I had something that guided me. Were they all good? No, no, not at all. But there's something there chemically that happens to us emotionally that even is willing to entertain the opposite sex. So I'm just not sure, you know.
Where that comes from. What
Yeah.
she called it, it is a title, she said, new relationship energy. And she said, don't be
Oh,
fooled by it. And I had to look it up, and apparently it came on the scene around the late 70s, but became popular in the 90s, I believe 1993. And now
okay.
we're hearing more about it. But like you said, well, let me just move to Audra real quick, because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Because Audra,
So,
you're looking
you
good.
know, I got to jump in there and say what I got to say.
Yes.
But I feel like what she was trying to illustrate is that we have to understand there's still a scientific approach to how we connect with one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're human beings. There's functions that happen in our bodies that are beyond our conscious mind.
Yeah.
And so because these things are happening, she's like, okay, don't be fooled. This person can come in and smell good, and there's a swag about, like there's all that kind of stuff, which is necessary. It's a part of the mating process. It's a part of the dating process. All of the chemistry is necessary, but we can't say that that's all that we need. And I think that's it, is that it can't stop at the chemistry. But if the chemistry is never there, if that any type of connection is never there, then it can't go anywhere beyond, oh, that's the person standing over there across the room.
Yeah.
So you need to have that sort of something, but don't let that certain something be your everything.
But I don't know if that's what she said. Now I had to listen to that boy back. And she said, don't listen to chemistry at all. What I heard, this is
that too.
a technique that as teachers, basically what I hear you're saying is that we should not rely on chemistry because it is just a feeling. So instead, we should wait it out, because this chemistry lasts for about 18 to 24 months. That's about 2 years. So after I wait it out and I no longer see your representation and I only see you, and I could determine if we are now compatible, that is when I make a decision.
Yeah.
It's a long time. Now, she didn't say that chemistry and compatibility. She said, don't even listen to that chemistry because it is your mind fooling you. So
Yeah.
that's where, to me, it's a bit flawed.
Sketchy.
I took some notes. Um, Point number one. I guess
Yes.
I'm curious because I love Spirit. Let me tell you something. I watched
It's
this
awesome.
woman years ago. She was on a show here in Los Angeles, like a local show, and she was so good. And I'm like, who is this queen? And so now I am so happy that she's getting the notoriety and the platform and all
Yeah.
those things. She is so good. I saw her on the Mel Robbins show, and I was like, girl, she was so good. But
Mm-hmm.
what I'm not so sure she was good at is breaking down the time for women when they are no longer chemically able to procreate a child. So, for example, Tina knows, right? Tina
Okay.
knows Carlson. Now we know that her ex was dropping it low and spreading it wide. So she decided to let it go, right? And she was back on the market and she found this fine, wonderful man. Now, when they first met, was it chemistry? Did she wait the 2 years? This is what I'm trying to wonder.
Okay.
How
Gotcha.
does this theory work for women that the science is no longer working to procreate? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have a little tidbit to add to what you were saying.
Okay.
So they knew each other
Oh,
through a mutual friend, her current husband.
Richard Lawson
Yes.
with his
Mm-hmm.
own
And
himself.
he was married while she was married.
Okay.
So they knew each other. But of
Mhm.
course, you can't express what you may be feeling or a physical attraction while you're still married. At least you shouldn't. People do it. But
People do it.
once she was untangled and he was untangled, the exchange begins because, again, chemistry is I like what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Chemistry is I like this conversation. Now, can it fool you? It absolutely can. But the reality is, we function off of emotion. That's men and women. We
Yeah.
function off of chemistry, but I think there was some chemistry there. Thus, they're now married. So,
Yes. Yes.
But Lacora, are you trying to say that the only way chemistry or the scientific elements should be or are really present is if procreation is possible? Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking because when I watched the tape, and we do
Mm-hmm.
have the link provided so that you guys can see it in its full totality.
yeah.
But as I listened to it, it just made me wonder, well, how does this theory work for people that don't have that chemical reaction to produce a child? You know what I
Well,
mean?
can I offer this? I would like to offer the thought of when we're talking about procreation or we're talking about creating, period. Creating can be, you can birth things that aren't an actual human being. So for instance, like if the chemistry is for you to come together, and
Come
if
on.
we're also talking about spiritual things. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a I'm interested in you, I see you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and there's this chemistry, and you come together, you're attracted to one another.
Yeah.
You can get together and build a business. You can get together
Absolutely.
and do amazing things in the world. You can
Because it
get
just
together and birth
works.
a whole bunch of
Mm-hmm.
other things. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And
Okay.
so we don't know why we're necessarily attracted to each other in certain ways, but we are. That's why I feel like the concept of chemistry is still valid, whether you
Yeah.
can have a child or not.
Got it. And I like that theory, Audra. I like that. But I do wonder, and I wish Spirit was here to let us
I
know.
know.
And is that accurate? Because it sounds great and it sounds wonderful. And we are actually going to have our Minuteman. He's having some technical difficulties right now. So we're going to keep the
Yeah.
conversation going because this great debate has been something, the old age debate of Prince and
Yes.
Michael Jackson's Twizzlers versus Red Vines, Brandy versus Monica. So let's take a
I
look.
heard they doing the verses too, so
Yeah,
we
I
shall
know,
see.
right?
Oh,
So
you know
But
what? I'm just going to lay it down right now. I am a Monica fan. Absolutely Monica.
I'm
Brandy's
Brandy.
voice is nice, but Monica just, she does something for me. I
No,
love
Brandy
Monica.
is the goat, honey. That is
What?
the Brandy.
Nah.
Are you
uh, So here's my question, though. My
Yes.
question is, I'm very curious to know what the people have to say about this.
Yes.
So we, of course, we love to put out the question on our social media platforms because we want the people to be involved. So we're gonna go ahead and check out what y'all have to say. Let's check out our catch of
the
the
day.
day.
All right, here you go.
All right, Tamika Williams. I believe compatibility is key because once the chemistry or fuzzy feeling wears off, you need something in common to keep you going. I agree. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Shatan?
I would say yes. You do have to have something that takes the relationship higher and higher and higher. It cannot just be that you're attractive. Because then what? I got to wake up and see you in the morning. You're not on 10 in the morning. That's unrealistic. So I have to like you beyond looks. I have to care for you beyond even conversation. I have to care for you that if you become sick and we're married or we're in a committed relationship, that I will care for you in spite of what has happened. So I agree with that. What is holding the relationship together beyond chemistry? And I think that's what Spirit is saying. She's saying, don't weigh everything on the chemistry, right? Because the representative is going to give you all that good stuff initially. But after, then what we doing?
And
what
not even a representative. Sometimes it's just innate in its science. It's just,
absolutely.
It's like you ever look at a person, you're not attracted to them. It's nothing, but you're just like, why am I wanting
appeal?
Yeah. So, and I think that's the chemistry. Here's another comment of the day, catch of the day.
Alvette Stevens says, it's all about the chemistry. I always meet men who on paper are everything I want and need. So we would seem to be compatible. But once we link up, there is no chemistry. Chemistry can't be forced. If it's not there, it's just not. And it's nothing you can do about it. You will always feel like something is off.
Ooh,
I'm just gonna snap it up for Sister Arvette. I think that's
because
on
once
point.
the chemistry is off, your eyes start to wander. Your eyes are wandering, then your hands start to wander. If your hands start to wander, some things down below start to wander.
That's real.
The pot, LaCora.
I'm just saying, it happens. And like Nicole said, chemistry sparks relationships, but compatibility is an added bonus. So
you got to have the spark. I don't want us to think that the chemistry isn't necessary. Because if you're not attracted, if you're not drawn to a person, why would you even have the initial conversation?
And
like it just is what it is. And then it's like, even if the person says one thing and you're just like, I don't like what you said at all, I'm about to go over here, then we're done.
Chemistry.
Yeah, because that's done. Yes. Well, you know what, ladies, I think it's time that we bring in someone. What do y'all think?
I think so I'm hoping for it. I'm ready.
Okay, all right.
Ladies, listen, every single week we all anticipate hearing from our 1 minute man. I'm so excited that we have this gentleman. We like to call it what, ladies?
Minute Man.
Minute Man.
All right.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You guys, let's give a round of applause for Dr. Rael Sims. Woo! We are so excited to have you. Listen, LaCora, normally I have to look at the screen, but because we have red carpet sitting with us, he's got a long list of who he is. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to point my eyes to over here so I can read all of this fabulous stuff. So you all, Dr. Rael Sims, he is known as the relationship scientist. He is a cognitive neuropsychologist, a behaviorist, and a body language expert.
Mm.
That's a lot.
That's
So
a lot.
basically, like, I'm gonna be able to read you all the way up and through today
Right.
into Sunday to next Sunday is what
Exactly.
he's saying.
So, Dr. Rael, we want to give you 1 minute. We're not going to interrupt you. We want to hear what you thought. You saw the video, you heard our comments. Go ahead and let us know what you think about it.
Oh no, is he
Is he frozen?
Lord, have mercy.
Not Dr. Rael. Come on now, we need to hear. I need to hear.
Is he? We are having some tech issues today.
Yeah.
See?
It's all good. It happens.
Because I feel like he was about really
He
ready
was
to be
getting
like,
ready to tell us
hey,
some good
look,
stuff. Yeah.
And I saw
this
him
is what it is.
actually applauding something that Shaitan said. And I want you guys to understand that Dr. Rael, he has also provided like feedback and consultations for films. He shared platforms with Tammy Smiley. He has done some great things. So he is certified. He is a doctor. Now, you know me, I'm big on people that have studied, that have done work, or people that are anointed. And this man he has put in the work.
Yes.
So whenever he gets back online, we're going to have him and we have to see what he has to say.
Yes.
I'm excited.
So do we have any more comments, Zipporah? Anybody else?
Actually,
Yes.
that is so good. Okay, now I'm not sure who said or what Kelvin was saying true to. Brother, you like to elaborate for us? Oh, and he
the PhD. All right now.
PhDs.
Hey, Mr. PhD, come through with all the doctors on the show.
Yes,
come through, doctors.
Counselor, she's going to be coming up after.
Yes.
We have Kelvin, Dr. Rael, Inspire Rose Media says, ooh,
so true. Oh my gosh.
It's so true. All right.
There we go.
Okay, so Dad says chemistry is the science side of attraction, the biological stuff happening between us, but there is also an art to attraction. That's the meaning we attribute to relationships and includes what we value. Okay,
I love
brother.
Okay, now he said one thing. He said, but there is also an art to attraction. Let me say something. I was reading some of the comments because sometimes that art is still natural.
Yeah.
Like smell.
Yes.
This fella, and I'm not talking about the cool water cologne or, whatever it's called.
These pheromones was popping.
Yes. This brother would come by, he would kiss me, and he would be like, your smell is something about you. And then someone's comment on Dr. Rael's page said, in Germany, it's a scent, or it's a like a phrase to that, to where that you are connected to someone, and it's like an affinity that you have.
Wow.
It's deep. I think we need to understand that connection and attraction is deep. It's not just, oh, I like those jeans. It's like, no, I don't just like your actual physical genes, but the GEN, you know what I'm saying? Like the inside stuff, the DNA.
The DNA.
Yes.
Genuine talking about what's in those jeans.
Maybe he was talking about another kind of jeans, but he was like, y'all ain't gonna get it, so I'll make it the regular jeans.
Those jeans.
No, I know.
Wait a minute. Wait. So we've all been in relationships. Yes. All of our commenters and our viewers have been in relationships. And I will hands down tell you the one attribute that we all possess without knowing anyone is attraction. Yes. Attraction is what draws you. Yes. It's when they open their mouth that you determine that chemistry is available. Now, chemistry is not before you dialogue with them. It isn't. It just because what is the basis for it? Until you engage with that person, it is the attraction, the eyeballs that tell you that's gonna work for me, or it's not gonna work for me.
I'm a little different.
Okay.
I don't have to be attracted.
You want to smell them?
I do. I
Like,
want
come over here, let me sniff your
Look.
neck.
to see what that mouth do, but not like that.
Oh, what?
About. I want to see what you're talking about.
Uh,
I mean,
who I need to call up in here? Heavenly Father. Your girl is
You got me
saying some
blushing,
things.
LaCora.
You-
I cannot.
it's so serious. Like, I'm not all the guys. I remember my friend used to be like, "Child, you dating him?" And I'm like, "But I like him." You know what I mean?
Because so would you consider
Yes.
yourself to be a sapiosexual? Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Sapiosexual?
I am too. Yeah,
Wait a minute.
sapiosexual.
Wait, y'all gotta school me. I have no
So
idea.
you're really interested in like talking, the intellect, the conversation, the depth, and all of that stuff is the stuff that turns you on, not simply the physical.
And that has a label.
Yes.
Yes.
Because without that label, you still have to talk.
Well, wait, but we have Dr. Rael
Yes,
here.
he gonna get it straight. He gonna get us straight.
Okay.
We were trying to hold on to it, but we was ready for you now. We ready.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's technology. It's fine.
Yeah.
You have 1 minute, Dr. Rael. Let us know your thoughts.
Well, we have to depend on both. With one, without the other, it's just not going to work. How long does it? Well, we're talking about chemistry. We're talking about, when you first meet someone, you get this altered state of consciousness, this euphoria, this high, right? And yes, that's going to last. Back in the day, we used to say it's going to last. It was a term called 7-year itch. And then it went to 4 years, and then it went to 2 years. And then after 2 years is over, then it's time to really work on the relationship, right? But what we have to understand is that chemistry never leaves. If chemistry is gone, that means your relationship is also gone. Because we are based on everything that we do is based on chemistry.
Yes.
When we're at home, when we're looking at our significant other, and we have those vibes when we look at our significant other and we smile, that's chemistry, right? You know, when you let me ask you, is it Shaitan? How do you spell? Shaitan. Let me ask you, you ever experienced when you're laying in the bed, your husband leaves the bed, but you find yourself on his side?
Yep.
Or you find yourself on your side?
Yeah.
That's chemistry.
Yes.
What is it? It's your immune system. It's your DNA. You see, it's something that we have called the major histocompatibility complex and the HLA, the human leukocytes antigens. What that is the minute that we meet another person, the first thing we do, well, all living, breathing creatures, the first thing they do, when you see two animals come together, what's the first thing that they do? Smell. They smell. Well, God didn't create that just for the beginning. He created that throughout the relationship, right? You know, so you can always be bonded and attracted to your significant other. You know, that the chemistry is not there to leave, you know, after a certain period. But what happens is it just dies down a little bit. So you can think straight now, right? Because when we first start and we're all high on the chemistry, we're all high on the phenylethylamine, dopamine, serotonin, you know, we're high on all of these chemicals, vasopressin, you know. Well, what happens is it shuts down our prefrontal cortex. So it's a certain part of our prefrontal cortex, our lateral prefrontal cortex, which makes us the CEO, right? It makes us to make good decisions. Well, when we're so high, we're not able to make those good decisions. Right? That's why when you see somebody that's so in love, we do stupid things for love, right? We do crazy things. So that's why when those chemicals starts to come down, now you can
Reality.
You can think straight.
Thank you.
But the chemicals,
Yeah, that's right, brother. Now look at here. Now hold up now 1 minute. But you said something both are important, and that's what I feel like that's what I didn't get from the conversation. And I know a lot of times we have relationships where we are not compatible, but it's all chemistry, or we're compatible, but there's no chemistry. And if you're lucky, if you're blessed enough, you will have that experience. And I'm so grateful that I have had those experiences. So I do know that it exists. So yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, we're talking about chemistry and we're talking about compatibility. We're talking about social compatibility. You're a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. You a doctor, I'm a doctor. But guess what? Social compatibility equals chemistry. Because when you do something together, right, and you're happy and it's fun, it creates chemistry. Right? So look, I never tell a couple that foreplay is only in the bed. Foreplay is outside the bed
kitchen.
I'm going to say the kitchen.
Yes,
when
come
you're
on
going
here,
to have
kitchen.
fun, when you're
At
doing
the park,
when you're in the kitchen, when you're
on the
cooking,
roof,
on the roof,
in the car,
outside, when you're doing the grass, right? When you're
Okay.
doing the flowers, when you're doing the garden, right? Because remember this too: when men sweat, right? This is going to be a tangential. I'm going to come back to that sweat. When women ovulate, when you ovulate, you release a chemical called compulence. When the males smell your compulence, we also release a chemical called androstenone. And this is how sometimes people end up having sex on the first night when they meet at the club. Because when you're ovulating, it's no different than every living, breathing female creature on this earth. When you're ovulating, you're actually doing, what do we say about a female canine? She's in what?
Heat.
Absolutely. So women, you are also in Astra. We can say heat, but that's the medical word. So, so when you're ovulating, you're releasing chemistry. Us men smell that. So just think about when you are in a relationship, when you're married, right? It's the bond that keeps us bonded together, because you smell. That's why when your husband is working hard and he's sweating, you're smelling his sweat. You're smelling androstenone.
And you could like it too. Like I dated this fella and he used to be musty to me. But then once I loved him, that it smelled so
good.
I like it.
It smelled good. And that's why the DNA in the immune system is on your sheets, is on your pillow. So you gravitate over to the bed because you're close to them.
Okay, hold on.
Chemistry.
I just have to say, now we're into the science of things. Is what doctors or what Spirit was referring to. Science really determines a lot of things, including chemistry. And chemistry is really encouraged by science. Right, Dr. Rael?
Absolutely. Because I am a scientist. And this is what I work with. Chemistry. And absolutely, this is what's going to keep you bonded. It's a glue, right? And it's happening all the time. It's happening all the time.
My question is then, I have to ask, so how much in control of this attraction are we, honestly?
You're not. Look, let me tell you. We are employers. We are employees for God. Because God is in business, right? God is in business, and his business is to generate souls, babies. As entrepreneurs, we're in business to generate money, right? There's 360,000 people born every day. There's 151,000 people that die every day. God gets a profit of 209,000 babies in his business, right? So he hardwired us, right, to advertise ourselves, to connect, to procreate, right? So when we're talking about control, things happen that we are not even conscious of.
And
conscious that when you ovulate, that you put out copulence. Are you conscious of that?
No.
And I think, Dr. Rael, that's why Spirit said that you cannot trust what your mind is telling you, that you have to give it time.
Okay, so let me explain that. Yes, I agree. When we talk about if we move too fast and we're intimate too fast, right? What happens is that we release the oxytocin, the bonding chemical, right? So we've all heard of the oxytocin. But oxytocin isn't just for sex and relationships. It's also to bond mother and child, because when you have a child, oxytocin is released and it bonds you together, right? So the thing is that we know it's the bonding. So when we move too fast, we think we're in love with the person, but actually what's happening is the body is yearning for that person to release the oxytocin. So because we're thinking about that person, we think it's love, right? We think it's actually something that, oh my God, you know, I really love this person, right?
And you realize that when you take your time that you ain't even care for the person.
Absolutely, because it works like, I did a tour recently, it works like birth control. I don't know if you guys are aware. So birth control minimizes your chances of actually finding chemistry with the right person. Because birth control pills makes your body believe that you're
producing pregnant.
Right.
So if you're pregnant, why
you don't
why not
need
release
to
all the
contract.
things that attract the man to you, right?
That's good. We got to bring in
Wow.
Dr.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So
our resident
yes, I'm definitely interested. This is amazing. And Dr. Bob is just about to just take it and add amazing energy to this whole conversation. I'm interested. So let's welcome Dr. Tamika Bob, our resident counselor. Hey, Dr. Bob.
Hi, Dr. Rael.
Hey, Dr. Bob.
I truly, thoroughly appreciated your scientific perspective. It just reminded me of all the chemicals and all those things. So thank you so much for that.
Welcome.
Dr. Bob, you look beautiful, number one.
Thank you.
Out the way, Queen. All right, go ahead. Give us your commentary.
Thank you so much, as do all of you. You all look very beautiful. So I want to start off with defining chemistry and compatibility, right? We all have our own definition. Sometimes we speak in terms of our personal definitions of these words, right? But I just wanted to look this up to be clear. And I pulled up Oxford Dictionary, where Oxford defines chemistry as the complex emotional or psychological interaction between two people. Okay? So we see those words there are emotional or psychological. So let's just remember those words as we're thinking about the term chemistry. Okay? And then if we look at compatibility, Oxford defines compatibility as a feeling of sympathy and friendship, like-mindedness. Okay? So let's think in terms of friendship and like-mindedness, right? And for chemistry, we're thinking in terms of emotional and psychological. So we're here. Y'all following me, right? Okay, so now if I have chemistry on my left hand, I have compatibility on my right hand. Which one do I feel is more important? I think it's compatibility. Now, let me tell you why I believe what I believe. So when we think of compatibility, already we've heard the term friendship, like-mindedness, right? If you're single, if you're out there dating, I believe compatibility is so important because you're thinking long-term. You're not thinking tomorrow or next month. Hopefully you're not. Well, some people are. They're just dating to have fun, and that's totally fine. But if you're looking for a spouse, something long-term, you're thinking you want a friend. You want someone who's like-minded, because down the road, you will need someone with common interests, right? When you're 60 years old, when you're 70 years old, when you stand before that altar and you talk about in sickness and in health, right? Even should even add, you know, when your mom gets on my nerves, you know, when the kids go away to college, when we have these drag out fights, you know what I mean? When you think of all those things, compatibility is important. And that's what's going to last throughout the marriage. So when you think of chemistry, let's go to chemistry. Chemistry is important. I'm not saying it's not. When I did the scale, I was just about like right there, right? I wasn't here. I was about here. So chemistry is also important. Dr. Rael talked about the science of it. In the beginning, right? God commanded Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply. Yes, that's procreation. They had to have chemistry there. But if we're going to keep it all the way real, as Dr. Bob likes to keep it real, how many of us have had chemistry with folks, right? that led us down a path that we weren't necessarily ready for. Chemistry creates great sex most times, right? You have chemistry with the person, you put these two people in the room, Shaitan, I see you shook your head no. But usually good chemistry leads to great sex. You know, you can't be away from each other. Like Dr. Rael said, you have to go to his side of the bed. You have to go to her side of the bed. So it's a great time. But good sex is not all you need. Chemistry is not all you need. Because guess what? Again, down the road, when those problems start to happen, and they will happen because this is real life, yes, maybe the bank account dries up. You know, maybe that person gets sick. You know what I mean? There are so many negative things that can happen in this relationship, in this marriage. Chemistry will dwindle. Yes, it will. It will dwindle because there are societal things. There are things happening in the relationship that makes the relationship dwindle, right? And one last thing I will say, also that whole chemistry thing can get us caught up into some soul ties, right? Because the sex is so good, the connection is so good. Oh my gosh, even when I'm mad at them. Oh my gosh, even when they cheated. Oh my gosh, even when they lost their jobs and they have no money in that bank account. But we have good sex though, girl, because we have really good chemistry. No, you need more than that. So having good chemistry is a great thing. Yes, it is. But being compatible, in my opinion, is an even greater thing.
Okay. Can I chime in and say, is it possible though? Can we just go ahead and have both? Can we have amazing sex with our best friend? That is like
that's
the
ideal,
best. I would love that.
That's ideal. And I'm only answering the question about which one may be most important, but absolutely that's ideal. Yes.
But one thing I realized when I was researching this topic, because Dr. Rael, knowing his past, knowing what he studies, a lot of people make it as if you cannot have both. Like when I was listening to these professionals, listening to the relationship coaches, it was like choose a side. You know what I mean? And so, and it made me wonder, it's just like, well, dang. So basically you're just saying I need to be a friend. I need to go be with one of my friends. Like, remember the Church of Latter-day Saints? They was like, the best marriages are from friends. And I'm like, well, you know, it's like, well, where is the line? So that's why I feel that both are important.
But how do you tie that together? I think that's what I'm sure people understand the value of both.
Yes.
But I'm loving that you and Dr. Rael have you see things a little different. And so your perspective is a little different. And when you have a different perspective, it's like, okay, cool. Well, how can we get these two things to connect? So how do you get the chemistry? Because you say, Dr. Rael, that we can't fully control our chemistry and how we're feeling and our DNA and who we're connected to or feel that connection with. But can we somehow surround ourselves by people that we are compatible with, that we can then experience this connection with? Like, how do we connect with somebody that's good for us is basically what I'm saying.
Spirit gave one solution, and that strategy was to wait out that new relationship energy. So that was one option that she did provide and she did answer. I don't know if Dr. Rael has another component, if you just put together a meet group to say, hey, who's compatible?
I know, like-minded people come to this group.
About that.
Well, they actually have right now. They have laboratories that you can actually go to find somebody physically compatible to. And what we do is that we take your DNA, we take your immune system, and we match it to somebody else's DNA. However, that doesn't mean that you will have a vitalized, harmonious, cohesive working relationship, because it does go back to compatibility. You know, do you have anything in common? Right. Yeah. That's why I'm putting them together, because again, what I said earlier on. Yes, absolutely, Dr. Bob. When you are friends, when you are really good friends, when you are compatible, when you do things together, compatibility and doing things together equals what?
It brings
chemistry.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
It brings you together, because when you're compatible, when you say, oh yeah, let's watch this movie together because we both like it together,
There
right?
you go. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
oh yeah, let's go do such and such because we both like going to the beach and enjoying, right? Let's hold hands together, right? You know,
Yes.
touch, you know, everything. If let's cuddle, let's be affectionate. You know, all of that is chemistry, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm using the term chemistry, I don't want people to get mixed up in thinking that it's only for sex.
Right.
See, that's where we get mixed up.
Gotcha.
And
You know,
that's why I
chemistry
shook
isn't
my
only
head.
for sex.
Yeah.
You know, chemistry is a bond. You know, I mean,
Yes.
think about this. If we said chemistry was only for sex, then when I just explained to you, when you have a child, oxytocin is released, it binds you to your child. Are you having sex with your child?
No.
Right?
Lord.
Chemistry is there to bind you to love. It's love as well, right?
Yes.
So when we're, you know, so when we're talking about compatibility, social compatibility, you know, and being good friends, you got to have both, right? And you're right, Dr. Bob, you can't have one. I mean, you know, there's times that we have been physically attracted to somebody because,
And
again, like I said, you move too fast, you end up having sex with somebody, you release the oxytocin, phenylethylamine, right? Serotonin, dopamine, and all of that. So you're high off those drugs. So it's really hard to come off of those drugs when somebody says, you know, hey, I thought we was just kicking it, right?
Absolutely.
And you didn't take the time to get to know that person or to become that really good friend or to realize. And that's why it's important to break down your non-negotiable requirements, your needs, and your wants, so you know what to interview when you interview the person.
That's right.
Because
So I want
hired.
to add. I want to add to.
That was good, Dr. Rael. That was good.
I'd like to add to what Dr. Rael and Dr. Bob said. I feel like this. I've been extremely compatible with my male counterparts, but I felt no chemistry to move forward in anything with developing a relationship. I really, really just admired them for the men that they were and their mindset and their intellect, but chemistry wasn't there for us to pursue a relationship. And I do understand that sometimes people will, because of chemistry, consider sleeping with someone. But a lot of times people are just going to sleep with someone because that's what they want to do. Whether chemistry, compatibility, or any of that is involved. If you got your boobie hanging out and a guy like and want to touch it, we ain't even established chemistry. You just have something on display that he want to touch.
Right,
And
absolutely, because what that is that we're just attracted to the symmetry or the golden ratio, right? So we just see that, and so we don't take out time to say, are we compatible? We don't take out time to say, do we have the major histocompatibility complex?
Sure.
You know, are we physically compatible? We just look at, oh my God, we look at, oh my God, the symmetry is awesome.
Physical.
The golden ratio is awesome. And oh my God, he's a football player. He makes a whole lot of money. Oh my God, she's an actress. She's so fine, you know. So we don't think of that. We're thrown off by who that person, you know, just the representative of that person, right?
Absolutely.
So we're thrown off of that, and we just want to make love to it. We want to F it. You know, we want to do it, right? You know.
This is the last question.
And then you can get in trouble. And then you can get in trouble with that, because once you get in it, that person releases the oxytocin, and now you're stuck.
And now you're
in it.
Yeah. Somebody don't like.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Last question that we have to close out with our two wonderful doctors, but Dr. Rael, Dr. Bob. Can chemistry, if you start a relationship based off of compatibility, can chemistry be created? Can it grow later down the line?
Absolutely. I believe it can. And I was thinking about that, Hassan, when you just gave your example. I do believe it can grow. The more time you spend with the person, the more feelings you gain for this person. You begin to fall in love with them. The more outings you attend, I definitely think chemistry can be formed. Yes.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it happens. It happens all the time. You know, it happens at actors and actresses at work. You're doing a movie. It only takes 3 months, right, to do a film. Because I work in the industry too. I work for filmmakers, and you know, I help them put the science into their movies. So I've seen people work on the set. They were single. Next thing you know, they're married. You know, it's like, wow.
That's
why that actresses and actors do not disclose to their partners, because they're like, oh, we're just acting. No, chemistry chemistry can happen.
Right.
That's right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So it
Yeah,
takes a very special person to be with an actor
Yeah.
or an actress.
Yeah.
Let's be
Yeah.
very clear on that.
Yeah. And I
Dr.
think that's a good
Rael,
thing.
Dr. Bob, we want
Thank
to
you.
thank
Yes.
you so much. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Dr. Rael, brother, we may
Thank
have to
you.
have you come back. Yes?
Can I
Yes,
come back?
Dr. Rael. Yes,
Can I
that would be
come back? Now, you
amazing.
guys, this is live. Everybody, you heard that. Thank you so much, too,
Yes.
Dr.
We
Bob.
would
I
love
appreciate
it.
Thank
you.
you,
Yes.
sir.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Dr. Rael. We appreciate
Yeah.
you. All right now.
And
Oh
Dr.
my goodness, Dr. Bob. Yes.
Thank
Come
you.
through first. Yes, you look fabulous. And then
Yes.
just, I mean, what you're saying about the importance of compatibility is just really, it's huge. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us. You know you are girl.
Yay.
So we're gonna see you next week. We
Sunday.
appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you. Man, that was amazing. That was so informative. I learned so much. And Dr.
Yes.
Bob was just like, yes, it is so, yes, chemistry is incredibly important, but that compatibility is like it's just a little bit, you know, a little bit more. So you got to put in your energy and focus on the level of compatibility you have with someone. So that's powerful.
Well, we have some people right here. Yes, Dr. Bob, Dr. Sims explain what's happening in our bodies and brains when we strike that chemistry. But you need more than that to make a relationship last.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Dr.
Rael
Rob broke it all the way down. Yes,
down.
he did, Anthony. Yes, he did.
Yes.
He let you have it.
Oh,
Miss
Lord.
Jones. She says that is a fact. Time is vitally important. That lust will cause relationship blindness.
Yes.
We as women get all confused. We tend to confuse lust with love. Been there, done that. Yeah, me
Child.
too.
If someone says soul ties.
Soul ties, yeah.
Now that theory has also been worked out a little. That's something that people are debating. Is that really
It's
true?
true. It's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
I mean,
if you haven't, we got to stop. Okay, listen. Real quick, if you have not truly studied something, broke it down, and just because you have experienced it, just because we've been taught it every day of our lives, does not mean that it's true. That's just me. Remember, the whole point of this platform is to challenge everything, to study, to look, dissect, and analyze. So I just feel like, interesting. Let's talk about it. Let's hear it. But automatically, I was like, yeah, it's true.
I mean, I believe, like, but if it's our experience, for us, it could be true.
But
If it is something that you've experienced. Now, here, and of course, I understand the concept of breaking things down and all of that. But when we're talking about things from a scientific perspective, if we're speaking about the power of chemistry, we're talking about, you know, the chemical processes. You know, when we're talking about soul ties, that is another question too. Well, how can you really break down the soul? You know what I'm saying? Because the soul is intangible. So, but you can correlate and connect certain things that if this chemistry is this to this level.
You could do that with anything with the right background and with the right evidence. That's why we have lawyers to debate, because if you hear one argument, you're solely bought, then you hear the other one and you're like, if the glove ain't fit, we must have quit. So it's like challenge everything. And that's my big pet peeve. And maybe that's me because I'm an educator. And I always tell my students to challenge, to research. Don't even believe me because I'm your teacher. So I think what we have to do is take a look at something and don't just dismiss it right away. We just can't do that. So I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be mean or rude or anything. This is why we have this platform, so that I want to encourage everyone, whatever is given to you at face value, you don't always have to accept it.
That's true.
Just challenge it. Just challenge it. And then someone said, can chemistry be faked or dismissed? I asked because we've all seen a young, beautiful woman with an older, not so attractive man who clearly has money.
Well, here's the thing. Now, we did talk about the concept of being, you know, desiring someone for a specific reason. So if this young woman who's beautiful and is with this older, not so attractive guy, I mean, we don't know if she's physically attracted to him or not. That's,
Right.
not for us
That's
to
the
decide.
idea.
But if she is not attracted to him physically and she can be attracted to security and comfort that the money brings.
Right.
And with that comfort and attraction to that security, we don't know, but the relationship, they could be compatible. There can be certain levels of compatibility that develop, but even though the initial attraction was security for the woman, if that is the situation.
And I'd like to add something to that, LaCora, if it's okay.
Yeah.
I dated someone who was 19 years my senior, and this is way back. I was attracted to him.
Yes.
He didn't have a slew of money, and there was none of any of kind of what he was describing to us, Anthony. I had an attraction to him. It wasn't that he was an older man and I just wanted to be with an older man, that I couldn't be with someone else. I didn't have daddy issues, because they say sometimes women are attracted to older men because their father is not present. But I just liked him, and he talked to me, and we were compatible in our conversation. It didn't work out. Could it be possible because he was much older? I don't know.
Right.
But I know that at that time, it was something I liked, and he was willing to talk to me, and we developed a relationship. Hey, I had a baby. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because there was chemistry there,
Yeah.
and there was compatibility there. So, but it's really shunned when a younger lady is addressed, is with an older guy. But heck, some of these 70-year-old men have 25-year-old wives and 35-year-old girlfriends. And so I don't know. There's always that.
I mean, my parents are 19 years apart.
Oh,
So
okay.
It just is. I mean, my daddy, I'm just handsome dude. I can't even be mad at him. My brother's like girlfriend was just like, who's that guy? So I mean, hey, it is what it is. If you got it going on, you got it going on.
You got it. Let's see. Martha says, hey, Dr. Sims, he is the business lady.
Yes, he is.
At what does that say?
My
Optimize
professor.
Institute,
Yeah.
where I received my neuro coach certification. All right.
Awesome.
I love that.
And then this should be our last comment. Now, LaCora, LOL. So are you saying you never had chemistry for someone after only laying eyes on them? You didn't want to jump them bones?
Hilarious.
I'll say she did, but
I'm
just
sure.
speaking on her behalf.
She plugged her pearls a couple times. I'm sure, like, ooh, child.
And it's so funny because I'm so churchy, but I'm also so hood, and I'm also so streets. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just blended. Well,
so did your toes curl or not? That was the question.
I'm trying to think. Like, no, I don't think I've seen someone so fine, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Really?
Maybe Morris Chestnut.
That's happened to me a ton of times.
Morris Chestnut in The Best Man, when he came on the scene and it was kind of slow mo, I was like,
okay, so your toes have curled before.
Yes, they have. Yes.
Okay.
Like, we live in LA. It's a lot of fire brothers in LA.
It's a lot of good lookers.
My first love. I remember what he had on when he came to the door. Necklace.
She still got a little soft spot.
Okay, see, that's chemistry right there. That's chemistry. It's in your DNA, girl.
I was. Ladies.
Okay, ladies.
Yes.
It's time for us to weigh in on this video, on all that we've seen, all that we've heard, all that we've said. Now we get to determine what we feel about this video, and you guys get to comment and let us know what you thought as well. Ladies, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I want to hear, LaCora, you have a minute to let us know why you feel like you're divided.
I'm divided because, yes, compatibility, you have to live, if you're dating, for the relationship to be lasting. But I do feel that chemistry is important. That is why I'm just like the shallow, because she was just like, it's science. Yeah. I'm fooled by it. And I'm like, but if God put it there, but she did say for procreation, but I just feel like it's just a little more, So that's what,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Audra, 1 minute.
So I feel
Tell us what
like
you think.
it's deep, because I feel like even the concept of chemistry and what it does and the importance of it, the significance of it, like you said, LaCora, God put it there for a reason.
Yeah.
And so I think when we really delve into what chemistry truly is, like Dr. Rael was saying, it's deep inside of us. And
Yeah.
so we're drawn and attracted in those particular ways. So it's very important. But at the same time, you have to be mindful, like Dr. Bob is saying, you have to understand the importance of compatibility and the higher upper echelon versions of the chemistry that you might have. So you guys take it a step further. So I think all of that is just so deep to me, and it's like so important. And I just think it's worth researching and getting a full grasp of.
Yeah. So, of course, this week, I feel like this, not the title and the subject itself so much shallow, but it's really something that you really have to do the science behind. There's a lot of science to chemistry. And so if we would have been talking more science, which is what Dr. Rael was giving us, for me, that's deep. Anything that causes you to think a second time, for me, is like that's worth going to dive in and going to do the extra work to find out more about it. Like what you said, LaCora, don't take it for face value. Go do your own research. Make sure you prove it, because when you say what you feel about it, it needs to be valid for you.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily need to be valid for the next person. But for me, it was just shallow because I think that's her opinion, right? I don't hear so much that it is statistically, factually stated anywhere that someone for the last 10, 12 years has done the science behind. Did you stay together because of the chemistry, or did you stay together because you got
more of some case studies and things?
Yeah, I think case studies would make it substantiated, right?
Look at here, child. This is why we have this platform, because all these online relationship coaches, I don't know about not that one case.
Right.
Okay. But on that note, if you agree or if you disagree, please let us know down below. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much. And we'll see y'all next Sunday, right?
Yes, we sure shall. We're going to see you guys next Sunday on Ladies
Relationship Deep Dive.
Bye.
We're still live, honey.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to end it. Sorry, y'all.
Shut us